Thanks a lot to be there with us today for a new Campus France Live dedicated to higher education in France. And today we're going to discover the MSc in Global Innovation and Entrepreneurship. To talk about this program of EM Lyon Business School, I'm very pleased to welcome Ricky Moore. Hello.
Hello, Guillaume.
Thanks a lot to be there with us. You're the director of the MSc. And we're also with Arthur Lavaux. Hello.
Hello, Guillaume.
You're an alumni of this program. First of all, maybe Ricky Moore, can you introduce yourself in a few words?
Right, Ricky Moore. I'm a professor of entrepreneurship and innovation at EM Lyon Business School. I have the privilege and honor of directing this program, which is aiming to produce a group of socially responsible entrepreneurial leaders of tomorrow.
And you, Arthur, can you describe yourself in a few words? Maybe talk about what you did before joining the MSc.
Oh, so I was a student previously in international relations, so very diverse background. And I was always fascinated, and still am, by many of these questions on looking for new solutions to new problems.
In a few words, Ricky, what is EM Lyon Business School?
EM Lyon Business School is a leading French business school that has great history. It's been in over 150 years of existence. It is one of the leading institutions in France. It's a triple accredited business school. Entrepreneurship is our DNA. We try to ensure that tomorrow's leaders understand the opportunities that come from entrepreneurship. And we are very sustainable focused in that the world of tomorrow has to be a sustainable future. And
to know more and discover EM Lyon Business School, we're going to watch a little video. We will be back just after that.
Today, taking action is about committing and understanding that the planet will be much better off when we take care of it. It is about trusting and holding out a hand to each and every one of us, because together we are stronger. Today, taking action is about giving it all you've got to make the great leap into the workforce. It is about having the courage to climb higher and see further. Today, taking action is about experimenting, innovating, daring. It is a state of mind that we cultivate together. EM Lyon. Learning how to make a difference, here and now.
Ricky Moore, can you describe a little bit the MSc in Global Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and maybe describe what we study, what we do concretely inside?
The MSc in Global Innovation and Entrepreneurship is an 18-month program that tries to expose the students to multiple ecosystems around the world. We start off by laying the foundation of entrepreneurship in France, and then we're going to go to Scandinavia for the second semester, and then we end up in Asia, in Vietnam, for the third semester. What we try to do is to create entrepreneurial leaders of tomorrow that are able to fit in anywhere and innovate everywhere. They understand the opportunities that each ecosystems offer, and they're able to tap into the various networks and expertise to build sustainable products and services for tomorrow.
Why is it important for you to travel during the program? Is because you want to have a global perspective, because it's not the same way to be an entrepreneur in Scandinavia than we can do in France?
I think the entrepreneurial fiber exists everywhere across the world. What we try to do is to get them to leverage the various opportunities and mindsets that can exist within those ecosystems. It's a cross-fertilization of competencies, of behaviors, of experiences, of opportunities. And the student of tomorrow must be able to leverage these differences, must be able to take advantage of the various insights that are relative to each ecosystem.
For you, Arthur, you explained earlier that you had a diverse background. Why did you decide to study inside this MSc? What interested you in it?
Well, two parts. First of all, these were the questions that I had a plan and idea questions, which I wanted to look into, to push, mainly on, the kind of, which I still have kept a passion for, which is a kind of jugad innovation, so creating solutions from very low cost ideas. And of course, Lyon, let's be honest, it is a very well reputable school in France, so there was very much an interest to see why it had such a reputation.
You just told us, Ricky, that there are 3 different semesters in 3 different locations. For the semester in France, we know that Lyon has both campuses in Paris and in Lyon, Écully. Where are the different classes located?
The classes are run in Écully, so we're in the main campus down in Lyon, France, and we have the opportunity to maybe do some seminars or maybe a few trips up to Paris as visits, but the majority of our classes in France are done at our campus in Écully.
And all the classes, all the different courses are taught 100% in English?
All the classes are 100% in English. The student coming in who doesn't speak French has the opportunity to take some French classes while they're in Lyon, because you want to live in France, understand the French, talk to the French. So we want to make sure they're able to navigate the French landscape a little bit. So yeah, they'll have an opportunity to take some French classes while they're in Lyon, but the entire program is in English. All the courses are in English.
Let's talk more now about the pedagogy. What are the different courses that you offer in order to innovate and to be an entrepreneur? How do you teach that?
How do you teach it? Well, we want to give them the skill sets. We want to give them the tool sets that are going to help them sort of identify opportunities. From the get-go, once they arrive, our first class is going to be a boot camp that's going to sort of get them exposed to the spirit, the environment of entrepreneurship. We're going to get them to work on a platform that sort of combines Shark Tank with Kickstarter, whereby they'll have to come up with an innovative idea, convince their fellow classmates that the idea is worth developing, attract investment from the classmates, etc., etc. And at the end, there's a kind of a ranking of the ideas and the investments that they've achieved. And then we dig deeper into some of the specifics. We're going to go through things like platform strategy. We're going to go through cross-cultural management. We're going to go through managing innovation systems. We're going to go through things like the microeconomics of competitiveness. So basically everything that gets the student prepared for the opportunities that will lie ahead of them.
What is the idea for you? What is the purpose? To train a future entrepreneur and to have a lot of students creating their own business, or to have professionals in already existing companies but with an innovative mind? What is the purpose of the MSc?
Both. The graduate from the program is able to start his or her own company. They may go into an existing firm as an innovation catalyst, a business development analyst, something like that, or they can even go into the family businesses and take over, a family succession of what's been handed down in the family. And they can also sort of create new opportunities by going into sectors that are not necessarily entrepreneurial. So it's all about gearing them up to leverage and identify opportunities, whatever the environment that they're in.
And how would you describe the balance between practical and theoretical courses? How does it work?
The balance is sort of permanent. It's intertwined. So we want to make sure the student understands the theoretical concepts of everything that they'll do, and then there's a direct application of what they learned in the classroom. So it's not sort of like a fixed dichotomy between theory and practice. It's intertwined and applied learning at all stages.
And Arthur, did you have the opportunity to do a lot of projects related to the professional world, like having a professional spirit? Did you have this opportunity?
I mean, as he said, so we had 2 boot camps, which are very interactive, a great way to start off every semester, where you're able to, in a small group, work on an idea and see what it's worth against the others. And at the time, we had also a project with, I forgot their names, but kitchens in Lyon, where we worked to develop...
Petite Cantine.
Petite Cantine, yes, I remember. Which was a great experience.
It's a social project with Les Petites Cantines. What is it exactly?
All right. So our students must be socially, sustainably oriented, right? And what we looked at with the Petite Cantine as a project was a social and sustainable innovation project, whereby the students were helping alleviate the social isolation in the inner city suburbs of Lyon. There's a fantastic network of social kitchens where people that are isolated in society can come together, have coffee, cook for the day, eat for the day, and build friendships out of that. And what we wanted to do by getting our students to go into the Petite Cantine is for them to see how they can transfer some of the knowledge that they've obtained in the classroom, but also build sustainable projects within society.
That's interesting because nowadays when we're talking about innovation, entrepreneurship, we can sometimes have people say there is so many social issues, so many issues related to global warming, for instance. It's something inside your program, how to be an entrepreneur, how to innovate, but for the good.
Exactly. So we're about tech for good and innovation for good. It's not just for profit. No one will graduate from the program without having been exposed to, innovation for good, sustainable innovation, innovation for impact. No one will graduate without that.
What background do you require to apply to this MSc?
I mean, all backgrounds are welcome. What I'm looking for is the curiosity. I'm looking for guys who are willing to explore, to experiment, to step out of their comfort zone. People who want to take advantage of the globally diverse classroom, where they're going to be talking with people who don't speak their same languages, who come from very different backgrounds, who think differently, who operate differently, but each one brings his or her own richness to the program. So you've got to be, globally minded, very open and willing to take advantage of this great diversity of talent and resources in the classroom.
What are the different steps to apply to this MSc?
You first are going to go onto our website. You say, I'm interested, and you open up an account, and you say, I'm interested in that program, and they will tell you, what are the criteria. You got to get your certificates, your grades, your reference letters, etc. Once that's done, you'll be invited to take some digital tests. We want to understand what's your thinking like, what are your, attributes and qualities that you have. Once you've passed those tests, then it goes to the jury, and the jury will sort of evaluate the potential fit between the profile of the candidate, the profile of the program, and where we'd like to, go with the students. Once you're done that, there will be a decision made by the admissions board whether you can enter the program or not. English language is not, it is a requirement, but we're not specifically requiring a particular score in English to be eligible for that. But we want to make sure you are comfortable in English and you're conversant in the language to be able to take the classes in English and to talk with your colleagues.
And is it important to have maybe an idea of the sector you want to innovate inside, or what you want to do exactly after graduating? Or is it possible to just have the feeling that you want to be an entrepreneur and to have this mind of innovation to apply?
We need a curiosity, and you've got to be open. And we can predict the future, but we can help you create it. So if you are, open, you'll be exposed to different opportunities. You'll meet some of the entrepreneurs. You'll be taken to some of the firms that we work with, and over time your ideas will shape and evolve. So you don't have to have a predetermined outcome to come into the program, but there are lots of outcomes that will come from within the program. That cross-fertilization is very, very effective.
Arthur, what would be your advice for the people watching us today and wanting to apply to this program? What would you advise them to do to have a successful admission process?
First of all, there's no need to worry, because I know that when I did the tests initially, you always think, oh my God, what is this? Math was something I was quite rusty at, and you just have to go. It will work out. The tests aren't designed to trap anyone. You should absolutely feel free to reach out to alumni students current students who I'm positive will be more than happy to help you answer questions. But really, I mean, the spirit of the program is to go, to do.
How do you help students once admitted with all the different steps to come to France? Because you have students coming from all over the world, and we have people today watching us from all over the world. How do you help them with all the visa procedure, finding accommodation, stuff like that?
We say thank you, Campus France, right? Thank you, Campus France. Right. So we work with Campus France, our partners, to help facilitate the visa application process of all the international students. They work with our admissions office, and that will help them to recommend, places to stay and, various networks they can tap into for assistance in getting into France and finding a right place to live. And once they're at school, there's the international associations within the school that can help them sort of fit in and navigate through the school system. So we do everything we can from the get-go to help them arrive at school, and once they're in there, we want to make sure they're able to take advantage of all the student opportunities that we have.
How would you describe the student life on the different campuses? You told us that there are 3 different countries where your students are going to be. Is there like a spirit of the MSc? How is the atmosphere between the students?
The way I see I've built the program is I like them to fit in here and innovate everywhere. So you start with the French environment, which says, okay, this is France, this is Lyon, this is what the foundations of entrepreneurship are like. And then we get them into Scandinavia, which is a very different setting. First of all, the climate is very different. They're going to go into a hard winter kind of experience out there, very unique Arctic experience. But going into a leading Finnish business school in a top innovation city in Finland, whereby a lot of social tech and high-tech companies have been created. Okay, there the students will sort of have the opportunity to take classes with other international students in the business school in Oulu, and they will leverage again that interaction and hopefully be exposed to new ideas and new thinking, right? And then they're going to go to somewhere totally different, which is in Vietnam and Southeast Asia, where now they'll be exposed to the innovation of a developing environment, and they will be able to take classes with their sister students in another MSc program that we have at school, MSc in International Business, International Marketing and Business Development. So yeah, it's sort of one cohort, but you're taking advantage of very different ecosystems and building opportunities as you go.
And in terms of events that you organize, is there like a visit of companies, entrepreneur coming for talks? Do you provide some stuff like that?
Yes, it's all the opportunities that we have. So we will take them to visit some local companies, some local incubators. They'll visit our own student incubators. They'll have the opportunity to attend workshops run by our own entrepreneurs. We invite the students also to recommend entrepreneurs that they've got in their networks to come talk to the students and share their experiences with the class. And as much as possible, we try to have an academic and someone from the corporate world share their experiences in each of the courses.
Let's talk now about the different experiences related to the professional world. First of all, is there like the opportunity to conduct internship for your student, or is it possible to launch your own company while in the MSc? How does it work for the first international and first professional experiences?
The internship is a requirement of the program. Each student must do a 4 to 6 month internship in order to be eligible for graduation. That internship can be in a startup firm, it could be in an established firm, could be in a family business, whatever. The opportunities are tremendous. In addition, those who would like to start their own companies have the opportunity to do what's called a feasibility study, which is considered the equivalent of the internship in the firm. And for that, they will work with our professors and experts in our incubator to help them develop a feasibility study around their business idea. Okay, that gets them ready for the second stage, which says, I would like to write a business plan and present that maybe to investors as I start my business. So the requirement is you must do an internship. And for those who would like to start their own businesses, they will do a feasibility study as a substitute.
And how do you help your students to find an internship? Do you have maybe a network of different companies? How does it work?
We have a platform that the students log into, so it's a job teaser, and all the offers come in, and it's updated daily. It's a very dynamic platform, so students are able to find internships. We provide career counseling. The moment a student comes in, we start helping them to think about what are the possibilities for getting out. So career counseling kicks in from the get-go, and we help them to work on their resumes. We help them to work on their presentation skills. We help them to work on their profiles. So they're being prepared for their exit from the moment they get into the school.
Arthur, how did it go for you? Did you easily find a job opportunity, an internship opportunity while studying?
So it's quite easily. So I went straight into a VU, which is a French kind of long-term internship industrial placement program, and for sure the EM Lyon alumni portal also helps tremendously. To convince people that you have what it takes to fill a position.
And after graduating, what are the different opportunities, Ricky, for your students? Where can they work? What can they do concretely if they are not launching their own company?
Take over the world. No, what they'll do, they'll go into some of the firms. So the majority of the students right now are working in firms. They will go in as project managers, business development analysts, innovation catalysts, coaches, mentors, and things like that. So that's where the majority of the students go. In terms of job opportunities right now, we're like about 80% of the students that actually in a job within the 3 months of their graduation. So that's a great number for us. Then we've got those that are going into the family businesses, and those fluctuate throughout the years, depending on who's coming in and where they're going. And then every year there's going to be like a 3, 4, 5, that are saying, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm going to take the plunge and I'm going to start the venture on my own.
So it's a good way to find opportunities with good salaries in the different sectors?
I'm not sure how I would measure the word salary, because the entrepreneur who's starting his venture is not necessarily looking for a salary, right? He's looking to sort of create that opportunity and, make it big time. So the salary is not the real indicator that we look for. We want to make sure, A, they are happy, they're learning in their environments, and they're doing something that can, be useful and impactful for them. So, because we're not playing the 6-figure numbers, that kind of stuff when they graduate.
To conclude, Ricky Moore, what would be your last advice for the students and people watching us today and wanting maybe to join the MSc? What would you advise them to do?
To apply. So the MSc is sort of aimed at guys who are willing to be socially responsible leaders of tomorrow. Students who would like to fit in here, or fit in everywhere, innovate everywhere. We are aiming to help the students who want to make a better tomorrow, more sustainable tomorrow, and be part of a very sustainable future.
Thanks a lot, Ricky Moore and Arthur Lavaux, for having with us today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you for having watched us. If you still have questions about this MSc, don't hesitate to ask them directly on the different chat sections. And you can visit, of course, the website of EM Lyon Business School to know more and maybe to begin your admission process. See you soon on Campus France Live.